every time. Well, thank you for that, if that's the case. Okay. Anyhow, it's 6 o'clock. We will call this meeting to order, public safety meeting on Tuesday, July 13th at 6 p.m. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with Wisconsin statutes, section 19.83 and .84, in such form that will appraise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for discussion and action. Roll call, and we are all here except Jolene, who has been public comment. We have no public comment, so we will go into approval of minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
Second one.
Good. Is there any discussion in regard to or corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Motion is approved. To the reports under A, Police Department, please.
There we go.
Keep pushing that button.
A few items. As you may recall, Wauwatosa Police Chief Barry Weber is a resident of Germantown. He stopped in last week. He did retire just recently after completing 48 years of law enforcement service to this profession. He wrote us everyone a very nice letter thanking us for our efforts last year as he faced a number of challenges that I'm sure you were all aware of, and treated the department to Robert's frozen custard as well. It was just a really nice letter from Chief Weber, just telling us that he appreciated everything that the department had did. I just wanted to share that with you.
Thanks for bringing that forward.
Just an update on the 4th of July. We took 54 calls for service. It was a challenge, and it never goes easy, but for the parade itself, I believe we manned 12 different traffic posts. So it's critical we have all bodies ready to go. We keep officers available to take calls. Right prior to the parade, we had a chapter situation. As we were wrapping that up, we had an overdose at Walmart. So within a half hour of the parade, we lost 4 officers, which means we lost 4 traffic posts. We were able to juggle and use some of our CPA volunteers to help plug some of the holes, but it was a challenge. During the day, as I said, it was an extremely busy day. During the fireworks, our officers used that time to get to the traffic post to assist traffic on the way out of the fireworks. I believe we manned 8 posts for that. We had a domestic that came in. It was a dual domestic, multiple victims, felony. 2 kids were taken. We didn't know at the time if it was an abduction, if it was a custodial issue. So that took 4 officers out of the park, away from their traffic posts to have to deal with that. So we did juggle through a number of items to try to backfill those traffic posts. I was basically the only one left in the park during that time, so it was a lot of things going on, but made it through. But overall, just a real busy day. Our officers did an outstanding job. Just for a little history, typically for the parade, we had always counted on State Patrol to man a couple of the traffic posts. After the fireworks were over, we always counted on Washington County Sheriff's Department providing some special deputies to assist us. Sometimes they were in the park as well. That's been more of a challenge, getting those agencies to help out with the manpower, just because they're spread so thin, just as we are. So it's moving forward. It's kind of, we're having to field the entire burden of staffing that event, just so everybody's kind of aware how that's starting to play out for us. But we got through it, and it ended up just being a real busy day. Upcoming events, we have the Canine Rummage Sale, which is scheduled for Saturday, July 24th. Right now, they are accepting donations Tuesdays before that event from 5 to 7, Thursdays from 5 to 7, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And there's people right outside in our front lot. You'll see the storage units as you go by the parking lot, and that's all for that rummage sale, which is a real big fundraiser for the canine unit. And then our NAC night will be August 10th. Detective Sergeant Schmidt and SRO Officer Olson have been kind of spearheading that event and putting things together, and it's been taking up a lot of their time. So we're anticipating just a great event. It's going to be down at Fireman's Park for the first time since we've started doing the NAC night with their new facility down there. So we're excited about using that.
August 10th.
NAC Night Out is Night Against Crime, and the event was nationwide on a specific day. That day doesn't work real well with the Chiefs convention going on at the same time, so we opted to just go that following Tuesday. So, and that's all I had, unless anyone has any questions for me.
Questions? Me?
Just a quick one. When you say you were manning on the 4th of July, the traffic, was that primarily on the street or close to the parking lots? Were they at intersections?
At intersections, both for the parade and for when they were getting people out, we tried to just kind of funnel people the same direction just to get traffic cleared out of there. There's so many vehicles right down in the immediate area. But yeah,
I assume there's OT cost involved in that?
there is. Yeah, typically what happens is, and actually this year we saved some overtime by that event starting a little later, and they kind of compressed the dates, which they're talking about doing moving forward. So typically our second shift would all start 4 hours early. The day shift would all extend 4 hours, and we would, backfill with overtime. Anybody that was willing to come in and work overtime, we just needed that many bodies. So this year the day shift didn't have to extend as much, just the way the parade worked out.
I assume that's pretty standard for the holiday parade also.
It is, yeah. And the only difference with the holiday parade, they have some activities afterwards, but not to the extent that the fireworks do.
Thank you.
Sure.
And
Go ahead, please.
and is the information for the canine rummage sale, is that on your website, on a website?
That is on our website, and it is
Okay.
on the canine committees as well.
Okay.
Facebook. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, for Facebook, and the canine has a Facebook as well. John's probably shared it, I'm sure.
Thank you for the updates, Chief. Appreciate that, especially in regard to talking about the details and so on. With the Sheriff Schultz sites, how many years has that been going on that we have not had assistance?
I believe this will be the second year. And just to clarify, they have said that they would bring officers in at their expense on overtime to send them down. We just try to make do without having to have them do that. So they weren't denying us any help by any means. It was just a matter of, in the past, they'd been able to hire special deputies to work events like this. And more, they just don't have as many people willing to work those events.
Thanks for explaining that. We'll go on to B, Fire Department, please.
As Chief Snow had said, the 4th of July does present many challenges to the fire department as well. He had talked about the overdoses that happened just before the parade. That took almost all of our units out. There were two separate units, or two separate incidences, but they were related both with overdoses on separate ends of the village. So most of our units had to respond out of the lineup for the parade. A couple did make it back in after they took care of those. Also, with some of our personnel shortages that we were experiencing, we did have to bring in an ambulance from Thiensville and a engine from Grafton to help us man this event this year. due to our just lack of people volunteering to help out. And it was a busy day for us as well. I think we ended up with 8 calls prior to the fireworks. But we were able to handle what we had with all the neighboring resources that we had brought in and with the people that we had from our own department that does come in. And like for the police department, if any of our full-time employees do come in, that is overtime for them as well. As far as the monthly report goes, last month we had reported that we were only at 86% compliance. For May, we did come back up to 91%, and we try to hit it 90% of the time as our goal, 5 minutes and 20 seconds, 90% of the time. And we're right there, right on the edge. As far as other upcoming events, we had elected this year to join with the police department for their NAC night. And due to our staffing limitations. In addition to that, we will be foregoing our safety fair that we usually hold in October. We'll try and combine the events and save some resources and dollars. And we were kind of doing the same thing at both events anyways, so just made sense, and the weather is always better in August than it is in October. So from our point of view, it just made sense to join with them. Otherwise, we're just kind of keeping on.
Very good. Thank you, John. In regard to policy updates from fire department and police, we see none.
Can I ask some
Yeah, we have
questions?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, my mistake.
Go ahead.
I want to go back to the last meeting and the response times in the ambulances being away on call and causing challenges to our staff,
Mhm.
getting to where we need to be in a time that you are comfortable with.
Sure.
And please tell me if my recollection is incorrect. So at times we allow patients to choose what hospital they want to travel to.
That's correct.
Okay. Does that cause, so it takes longer to get to St. Luke's than it would Community Memorial?
Correct.
Does that cause some of our compliance issues?
No, well, I can't say no to that. It could, absolutely it could, because it would take them longer to get back into the village.
Correct.
Yes, that is absolutely a possibility that it could.
And do we legally have to take a patient to the healthcare facility of their choosing? Or could we enact a policy? So we've got Community Memorial and we're about to get a new small emergency room.
Mhm.
Could we enact a policy thereby saving travel time and potentially helping our service commitments to our citizens?
Sure, and I understand exactly what you're saying, and the short answer is yes and no. So if the person is not in a critical condition, let's just say we got called for something, a bloody nose,
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
and that person says, and they're stable,
Mhm.
that person says, I want to go to St. Luke's.
Mm-hmm.
Legally, we have to take them to St. Luke's, otherwise it's considered kidnapping.
Ooh,
However, that same person we go to the next day, and according to our heart monitors, is having a heart attack, and they say, I want to go to St. Luke's. We can then say, no, because you're now critical, we will take you to the closest, most appropriate facility. In that case would be Community Memorial.
And do we bill for the non-critical services?
Yes, we do.
And do we bill for the critical ones?
Yes, we do. We bill for every service that we go on, call we go on. Even if it's, I cut my finger,
Mm-hmm.
can you give me a Band-Aid? That is a minimum charge of $200.
And are we allowed to refuse service for non-critical calls?
We are not as a 911 service.
And then the last question is trying to be careful and cognizant of my word choice. Are the distant location calls all legitimate calls, or is there abuse that occurs?
We don't see too many cases of abuse of the system.
Okay,
We have had people in the past who have, absolutely. And in those circumstances, we actually have additional charges that can be put on to those people, and they escalate
okay.
based on the number of abuses that they may have of the system.
Is it a monthly, yearly limit,
It is a yearly
okay,
limit.
okay,
And we typically try and find those people some help outside of this too.
yep, that's a different issue.
Off the top of my head, we did have a resident, he's no longer with us, but he would continuously fall out of bed. Sometimes 3, 4, I think one day I was there 5 times in one day. And I think the cutoff was 10 times is when you start to get billed aggressively. So we do have those in place for situations like that.
Okay,
We have in the past, if it was not a critical call and the patient wanted to go someplace else, have tried to call in private ambulance companies to come and take them, let's just say to St. Luke's or St. Francis. However, when we do that, then we lose out on the revenue that we would get from making that transport, and it would just be the $200 charge, as opposed to, say, $2,500 charge. So it's a significant source of revenue for us that we don't really want to lose either.
okay, okay, all right. Thank you.
And my question is, in your report, you have the May hospital transports, and there were, and the number, the count was 128. Of those, it says 51 were other.
Correct.
And so the top 3 are the primary that you,
Right. The first one is Freighter at Menominee Falls,
then West
then
Bend,
Freighter West Bend, and Aurora Grafton,
Aurora, okay,
and the others could be anywhere.
anywhere,
Yep.
right. And is that percentage about average
Yeah.
per month?
That stays.
Well, this is standard.
That's pretty
Okay.
standard. I mean, and there are some hospitals that we have to take certain people to. You're unresponsive in a major car accident. We're going to take you to Freighters. And it would almost, in some instances like that, it would be more of a disservice to us not to. Because then we would,
Yeah.
say we brought them to Menominee Falls, and Menominee Falls goes, well, I can't handle this. And then they call in another ambulance, and then they take him to Freighter. Now they've incurred our ambulance bill, that ER bill, another ambulance bill, and another ER bill. Whereas if we're just going, it's just our ambulance bill and that ER bill.
Understood. Thank you.
Mhm.
I would just like to make a comment. I'd like to thank the police department. You attached a couple of thank you notes that are very, very important to show all the service that you're doing for the community, especially in light of there was a wonderful note in your in the monthly report regarding Kathy Pierce, the SRO, up at Kennedy Middle School. And since that's been a hot topic, I think that's highly commendable, and just, keep that out in the forefront. That's what I would say. But great job to your staff. And also, Chief Deline, when you get noticed by Washington County, I mean, that's great. I mean, keep doing this, because you're so valuable to our community, and we appreciate all the help that you give us.
Seeing none, and under finished business, we have none also. We're going on to Roman numeral 7, new business A. We have the Germantown Historical Society picnic license, etc. per se. for September 25th and 26th, and the different times that they have. Be looking for a motion, please.
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the Germantown Historical Society picnic license, temporary Class B fermented malt beverage and wine license for their Oktoberfest celebration for September 25th, 26th in Deansville, from the times noted on the agenda.
And I will second the motion.
Very good. Any comments in regard to the motion?
I hope they have a lot of traffic.
Very good. Anyhow, all those in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And I just wanted to just ask a general question. I know it's not an agenda, Chief. No. We had a couple months ago in regard to a request for an IT. There was a 3 months that was approved as such. I was just wondering, do you know what's going on? I don't see Steve here tonight, so I can't ask him. How's that proceeding?
And I know that Aaron has been working on the request for proposal and doing an updated proposal for that. I think we were going to review that in greater detail tomorrow.
Oh.
And that was the last update I received on that.
Okay,
We have
good.
a department head meeting tomorrow morning, and we were going to
Okay.
discuss that in more detail then.
Good, because I'd like to have this put on the agenda for next month at that particular time, so we have an update.
So
Unless there's some particular problem that they're not quite there. Have a comment there. Please use your microphone. Sorry. Turn it off.
Oh, okay, thank you.
How's that button?
That's more than likely going to be on GGF's agenda on Monday. So that's going to be coming up more than likely at GGF on Monday.
So the proposal is not yet completed?
Well, we're going to look at, as a group, review it, but more than likely that will be coming up on Monday, the 19th at GGF.
So do we need to extend our temporary agreement with
Steve
Mr.
Storrs.
Storrs?
I thought that went through August or into August.
That's
I
going to
think it
come up
doesn't-
Monday night at General Government and Finance.
Okay.
Will be Monday night.
The reason why it's going to GGF?
Yeah,
Why
they
is
didn't approve
that?
that last time.
Because it's going to encompass more than just police department. It's going to be more than just.
So I know it'd be the administration. It used to be
It's a
for
larger-
fire and
It's
police,
a larger
correct?
picture.
Okay.
There's more to it.
So maybe I'm confused. So we've got the RFP, which my understanding is not completed and written yet. Is that right?
It is in draft form with staff.
Yep.
And that will be coming forward to General Government and Finance Monday night.
Perfect. And then we approved a short 3-month contract
Retainer.
retainer. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
And
that,
that was us
that was public safety, but that's going to come forward Monday night as well
to a different committee
to General Government and Finance Monday night.
because they're going to expand the responsibilities of the temporary.
It's a bigger picture than just police department. So there's it's going to be on an agenda Monday night.
Steve had mentioned this to me, discussing with him probably a couple of weeks ago, but stages, and so nothing was really fully determined, but he thought it should be in the bigger picture than past, so.
So, yeah, and so Monday night is where we'll see that.
Well, on
They're going, basically, instead of one department, they're trying to
administration.
encompass all of the administration with one IT company.
It's a larger picture than just one department now.
Right.
Thank you, Deanna.
Welcome.
Okay, well, I'm glad I brought that up. Great. And as you said, and Deanna said, you'll be going through that in discussion in regard to what is being presented at this time, so very good. All right. Going into our next meeting for August, I think we'll be back to the normal square, which would be the regular meeting, so that'd be August 2nd at 6 p.m. before the regular meeting, which is at 7.
I will not be here.
Thank you. Note that down in the minutes. Is there any other comments or anything at this time from the committee members, please? Seeing none? Okay, I will call this meeting adjourned at this particular time, please.
Thank you.